Chapter 49 Hidden Within Concealment. Once both parties were about to make contact, Han Li slightly moved the edge of his dagger. The blade's angle had only shifted slightly, but in Dr. Mo's eyes, his whole world had turned into chaos due to this seemingly minuscule but earth-shaking change. The small light reflected on the dagger's edge suddenly gave rise to a dozen extremely dazzling white balls of light. The radiance was incomparably intense, and Dr. Mo could not stop it from shining directly into his eyes. Not good. He secretly cursed in his heart as he hastily retreated backwards, immediately shutting his eyes. But by then, it was too late. The white light had already entered his eyes and prevented him from attacking. In that instant, Dr. Mo felt his eyes heat up, and his eyeballs began to ache incessantly. Tears dripped down from his eyes without restraint, and he had no time to wipe them away. He endured the discomfort with much difficulty and strained to open his eyes, but all he could see was a vast expanse of whiteness. Even an object's silhouette appeared like the layers of a mirage, fuzzy and indistinct. He instantly felt angry and frightened. Because of his own carelessness, he regretfully fell for his opponent's crafty trick once again. However, Dr. Mo had traveled the country for a long time and thus had plenty of experience in handling various kinds of dangerous situations. He continuously retreated several steps backwards to try and gain some distance away from Han Li and buy himself some time to recover. Simultaneously, he withdrew his palms to the front of his body and waved them relentlessly. Relying on the invulnerable demonic silver hands, he protected the crucial areas of his upper body. He had already decided that before his eyes recovered, he would not take the initiative to attack. Any offensive attack would have to wait until he could see clearly again before making a move. Dr. Mo was aware that he was yet again caught within the brat's trap. Currently, Dr. Mo's contempt for Han Li had disappeared from his heart. The level of danger in his struggle against Han Li was not inferior to the life-and-death battles against formidable opponents from his earlier years. Even though he could not see Han Li's movements, Dr. Mo twitched his ears and listened with rapt attention, trying to use his sense of hearing to determine Han Li's next move. Suddenly, Dr. Mo vaguely saw a shadow flash by. Shortly after, there was a sharp noise and a surge of cold wind coming from his front. Dr. Mo did not panic at Han Li's attempt to assassinate him. Instead, he was delighted. Han Li's strategy was somewhat naive. If Han Li had silently hid at one side to mount a sneak attack, Dr. Mo would have truly been worried. However, there was nothing to fear from a bold frontal attack. He had already trained his hearing to the point of perception, able to distinguish between the sound of wind, a thrust of a dagger, and an attack from an embroidery needle. He was able to hear perfectly. Dr. Mo heard the noise clearly, but his hand deliberately slowed down to make a small opening in front of him. Sure enough, the surprise attack immediately changed direction, deviating from its neutral path and making a beeline for his throat. Dr. Mo grinned hideously. His right hand, which had been waiting the whole time, suddenly made a move. He quickly grasped firmly onto the edge of the blade as he did not fear the sharp edge of the dagger at all. Han Li was aware of the turn of events and violently exerted some force to pull the dagger back a few times. But in the grasp of the demonic silver hands, the dagger did not budge at all, making Han Li's attempts a waste of effort. Dr. Mo felt a little proud of himself, but he did not dare to be careless for a moment because he was afraid that Han Li would realize this chance and release his grip on the dagger to run away. With disregard for his ability to see, Dr. Mo abruptly executed a move using 100% of his power with one hand. He pulled the dagger to one side, planning to pull Han Li firmly away from his front and personally hold him down. Instead, Dr. Mo felt that his hand was as light as a feather, as if there was nothing in his palm. He was greatly startled. He had definitely grasped the edge of the blade, so how could his hand be light all of a sudden? Even if Han Li had managed to loosen and release the dagger from Dr. Mo's grasp, it shouldn't have caused Dr. Mo's hands to become lightened this abruptly. Dr. Mo did not have enough time to think about it. His body acted on reflex and maneuvered evasively. At once, his head dropped to one side, and he leaned over with all his might. His neck was bent in an unfathomable angle in an attempt to avoid a fatal attack. Dr. Mo's many years of bitter training and profound skills had finally displayed their usefulness. At this moment, Dr. Mo felt something cool, a sharp object, brush against his neck. It barely grazed his skin and did not result in further injury. After dodging this attack, Dr. Mo feared that Han Li still had some moves in reserve. Without thinking, he actually copied one of Han Li's previous escape tricks. He dropped his whole body to the floor and rolled away. Only after rolling a great distance from Han Li did he dare to rise and stand. He hastily used 2 fingers to put pressure on the blood vessels in his neck to stop the bleeding. At this moment, some fear arose in him. A moment ago, he felt that he could not hide anywhere within the room, but he did not expect his body's instincts to be brought into full throttle and actually manage to escape death by random chance. He had been thinking hard up to this point, but eventually Dr. Mo could not help but raise his head to glance at Han Li. At this time, he discovered that he could see the objects within the room with clarity. He was unaware at which point in time his vision returned back to normal. Dr. Mo could only see Han Li glaring at him with dissatisfaction, obviously discontent with Dr. Mo's continuous evasion of his blade. Han Li carried in his hand a sharp, inch-long weapon. From its shape, it resembled an odd awl, but its handle was the original dagger hilt. The weapon as a whole looked somewhat grotesque. The surface even had some blood stains on it. This was indeed the strange weapon that had injured Dr. Mo. Dr. Mo turned gloomy, his eyes filled with fury. He kept having narrow encounters that threatened to cost him his life. Dr. Mo was about to lose his patience and about to burst with anger, but he noticed that his right hand was still holding onto something. He looked down and saw an immobile blade. He lightly lifted it up to get a closer look. Suddenly, he realized that this blade was hollow. The space within the blade was similar to the shape of the sharp awl. This blade was merely a cover used to conceal the awl from his vision. Because of this discovery, the rage that filled him was suddenly extinguished thoroughly.